Hello, this is Lisa from Embrilliance, and today I am going to show you how to create a freestanding lace Christmas ornament using StitchArtist. The first thing we need to do is create our objects using built-in shapes from the library. The first thing we need to do is switch into Create mode and choose the shapes that we want to become our ornament from the Merge Library Design dialog. The base of our ornament will be a circle, and for the top, we will choose the trapezoid. There are many ways to create designs, and there is no absolute right or wrong way. I am bringing in pre-drawn library shapes and sizing and moving them in my hoop to create my main design. Once I have my artwork set, I can work on choosing the stitch types. Let's expand the object pane so that we can see what we're working on. I like to break down the big project into smaller ones, so let us first work on the circle. So that we don't accidentally click on the other object, we will select it and lock it. Locking means you can see it, but not select it in the design page. So let's make some lace. Select the circle and choose the freestanding lace fill type. The Properties pane shows the options that you can adjust, including changing to a diamond-shaped fill type. You can adjust the angle of the fill by using the adjuster, and you instantly see your new angle of your stitches. Now let's add a satin border. Select your circle in the object pane and copy and paste it. While the pasted object is still selected, change its stitch type to a satin border and make any adjustments that you want. The pasted object is placed at the end of the object list. By moving it to stitch earlier in the list, we will create a continuous stitching design. The beauty of digitizing is that you have complete control over what you choose to create. If you don't want that satin border to exist under the top of the ornament, don't put it there. Zoom in to see what you're working on. I'm going to add 2 nodes onto the border by double-clicking on the line where I want the new satin border to end. The red node on that object shows its ending point. A circle is a closed object, so we will open it by choosing the red Open button, and now I can move and delete the extra lines by double-clicking on the nodes. The nodes that I added are the new beginning and end of the object. Dashed red lines show you where a jump stitch is. We can easily eliminate this dorky jump by moving the exiting point of the lace fill to the location of the starting point of the satin border. While I'm zoomed in, we probably want to reshape the lace fill, but first, let's create the top part of the ornament so that we know what needs to be hidden. We need to unlock the ornament top, and let's select both the fill and the border and lock them so that we don't accidentally move something on the design page that we don't want to. The ornament top needs to be a new color break, so while it's selected, I will choose a new color before assigning my freestanding lace fill. Again, we want a satin edge stitch, so we will copy and paste and change to satin border. We have a clear view of how the lace fill of the ornament needs to be reshaped so that it is not showing through the top. We are building our design with objects and layers, so continue to use the lock feature of the object pane to make your job easier. Only unlock the object you want to work on so that you don't accidentally select something that you don't want to work on. Reshaping curves can be tricky, especially when you don't want to change the other side of the curve. I will add 2 nodes to the shape like I did for the satin border. Now I have my anchoring points and can use the Bezier handles to reshape the top so that it falls underneath the satin border of the top of the ornament. Zoom out to check your adjustments and remember that you can select your design and choose the unlock to do it all at one time. Now let's add some details such as a pretty scalloped edge. Create a straight line and set it to a motif, and that will lie right on top of the freestanding lace fill. This line was drawn left to right so we can flip the scallop to get the look that we want. Motifs run in one direction, so it will start at the left and end at the right. I want to stitch it before the satin edge, so we need to move it in the object pane. Pay attention to jumps They are dictated where each object starts and stops, and taking a few extra moments to look now and adjust, and then run the sewing simulator will help you create a more efficient stitching design. Digitizing is all about making creative choices. I want a loop at the top, and I want that loop to be the same color as the ornament base, and logic dictates that it needs to stitch before the top so that it layers nicely. If you select an object in the active design and start drawing, that new object will be created directly following the selection. Notice that the border starts and stops on the right, so to save time, I will draw from right to left. Don't get hung up on your initial drawing. You can always edit your shape afterwards. Less nodes are always better, so I will usually create more and delete the ones I don't use and reshape my lines. Use the center green handle to move an entire object. We have added an object of the same color, but it is not connected to the previous object, so this is going to be a jump. Because of our plannings and set stitching order of this design, we can take a few seconds to create a new object that will eliminate the jump. It will end at the border and travel as a single running stitch to the starting point of the loop. This traveling stitch will be covered by future stitches. This simple addition gives your design a classy edge and will save you time with the machine. While in Create mode, I find it to be a quick double check to click on each object and verify that the stop of the object is at the same location as the start of the next. So time to finish up this design. Although not required, I like to group my design objects just in case I want to make adjustments to the design as a whole. Change colors if you want. I know that I'm going to add a monogram and it is going to be red, so I will make the ornament green. Almost done. The monogram that I'm adding is going to stitch on top of this thread fabric that we created with the freestanding lace fill. We don't have to make any other adjustments to the font for this to happen. However, I have Essentials authorized, and because our object pane shows two designs that are overlapping, Remove Hidden Stitches is going to kick in unless we tell it not to. This is easy enough by selecting the freestanding lace fill that is the lower layer and right-clicking on its color chip. Set this to Applique Material. This is a software flag that says these are not stitches but rather fabric and should not be removed. Run the stitch simulator one more time just to check and make sure that everything as you want it. Save your design and we're ready to stitch. Now wasn't that easy? I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy video on how to create freestanding lace using Embrilliance StitchArtist.